Hey, what's up everyone? It's Chase, aka That Gay Jedi, and welcome to my channel where I queer all things Star Wars. Today's video is the first of a series called Top 10 Queerest Moments of Star Wars, where I take various Star Wars media and break down the top 10 moments that I feel are the queerest, can be read as queer, queer adjacent, or things that us queer folks tend to resonate with. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the top 10 queerest moments of the film that started it all, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And before we dive in, I do want to mention that the items on this list are not exclusively queer, but they are things that I feel give Star Wars significant queer undertones. As always, please let me know what you think down below in the comments, and please keep it respectful. And without further ado, let's get into it. One of the first major queer elements we have at A New Hope is the introduction to the storytelling style of Star Wars itself, that being a space opera. The term space opera, which wasn't coined until 1941, is actually a play on words referencing the melodramatic styles of soap operas, and not the musical genre of opera as I used to assume. Writer Rebecca Harrison identifies various melodramatic themes from the Star Wars films, including, but not limited to, death, romance, incest, familial conflict, generational friction, and even dismemberment. Star Wars basically just gives us all of the melodrama and camp that queer people tend to gravitate towards in stories. Next, we have the subversion of traditional gender roles with both Luke and Leia. While there has been an increasing amount of nuance in hero and princess archetypes over the years, in 1977 the stereotypes were clear. The male-identifying hero was tough, commanding, and had no shortage of swagger, while the female-identifying princess was a demure damsel in distress. Well, with Luke and Leia, those roles seem to have been switched. In A New Hope, we find our soft hero at home, yearning to get off his desert planet, while we find our princess at the center of the action. Captured, sure, but still talking back and ready to fight. Even when Luke and Han come to save her, she does a lot of that saving herself. Now, diving deeper into Luke's longing, I can't help but draw parallels between it and the I Want songs found in musical theater. Wikipedia defines an I Want song as, quote, a popular type of song featured in musical theater that has the main character singing about how they are unsatisfied with their current life and what they are searching for. These types of songs were undeniably made more popular by animated Disney classics such as The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Mulan, to name a few. Songs like Part of Your World and Belle have always attracted folks in the LGBTQ+ community for many reasons, and at least for me, the same yearning vibes of these songs can be found in Luke's Yearning as he stares off at the setting suns of Tatooine while John Williams' binary sunset crescendos into the ears and hearts of the audience. Next, we have everyone's favorite bothersome droid, C-3PO. I'm going to be writing a whole separate video dedicated to this legend in the weeks to come, but for now, let's just talk about C-3PO reading to some as gay. I say to some because obviously we all know he's a droid, and as far as we know, droids aren't programmed with a sexual orientation. But for some queer folks watching Star Wars and looking for themselves in a story with no explicitly queer characters, 3PO is a natural fit. Whether it's his high-running anxiety, dry sense of humor, or fierce loyalty, there are multiple traits that queer people can resonate with and relate to. Coming in at number 5, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi as the wise, understanding, and accepting mentor. While rewatching A New Hope, something about Obi-Wan's mentorship to Luke made me think of queer mentorship and its importance in so many queer folks' lives. For so many of us, growing up queer was an incredibly lonely, solitary experience. However, some LGBTQ+ folks are lucky enough to connect with an older queer person that mentors them as they grow up and mature. Additionally, queer mentors can often act as teachers of LGBTQ+ history, both in personal and larger historical contexts, which is obviously a critical role for both the community and its legacy. And this is not unlike Obi-Wan's role for Luke and the Jedi Order as a whole. Number 6 goes to the Outer Rim territories as an allegory for those living on the outskirts of society. While LGBTQ+ people are becoming more and more accepted and to dominate society and culture, there is still a long ways to go. And it's because of this unfortunate truth that queer folks can oftentimes identify with feelings of being outsiders in society. While some characters have the privilege of living in a core world like Coruscant, others are pushed by whatever force to live on the outside. Wikipedia, the Star Wars wiki, also highlights the Outer Rim as host to diverse worlds and planets, which brings us to number 7. the cantina scene. Now, this one is a bit more tongue-in-cheek, but honestly, I think it has some real validity to it. Every time I watch our heroes walk into Mos Eisley Cantina, I am blown away by the diverse cast of alien creatures drinking and fraternizing with each other. This scene for me offers such an incredible look into the diversity one can find throughout the Star Wars galaxy. If this one cantina is hosting a dozen or so different species, how many different species and consequently different genders and sexualities is the entire galaxy home to? It's this idea mixed with that feeling of the Outer Rim territories that give me very, very queer energy. I mean, this cantina literally looks like it could be me and my friends at the gay club. Just saying. Probably the most literal on the list is the Rebel Alliance fighting against the Empire. The Empire is an oppressive, tyrannical power constantly working to conquer the entire galaxy and force its inhabitants into one way of life. The Empire, in many ways, can be viewed as the societal norm, with the underdog rebels fighting to break that norm and liberate the galaxy. It's no wonder then that queer folks watching Star Wars find inspiration in the Rebel Alliance and rejoice in their victories as the Empire and its suffocating and demanding norms are challenged and, many times, defeated. It's clear, even from just looking at the Empire's visual designs and overall aesthetic, that individuality and self-expression are forbidden, and for colorful folks looking to live their lives free from overbearing heteronormativity, the Rebels offer some encouragement. Another very queer aspect of A New Hope is the theme of identity, which of course is woven throughout most, if not all, Star Wars stories. At the top of the film, we meet Luke, just an average teenage farm boy until this strange old hermit named Obi-Wan tells him of his heritage. At first, we see a struggle in Luke as he debates his identity. Should he reject his calling and destiny as a Jedi, or embrace who he is and who he has always been? Throughout A New Hope, we get to experience Luke's acceptance and celebration of his identity as it grows and strengthens in its authenticity. And needless to say, we get to go on this ride with Luke throughout the trilogy, all the way to him proudly proclaiming,
"I am a Jedi, like my father before me."
Identity is something every LGBTQ+ individual has to investigate, navigate, and explore in deeply, deeply personal ways. So it's no surprise that themes of identity in media resonate with queer audiences. And finally, we have the queer theme of found family. For those who don't know, found family is exactly what it sounds like. It refers to individuals or groups that, while not necessarily blood related, act as family in support of each other, and more specifically, each other's queerness. In many ways, most everyone has a chosen family in their lives. However, for members of the LGBTQ+ community, found family has particular importance. Palace Gutierrez, a GLAAD campus ambassador, writes this on found families. Quote, "Also referred to as chosen families, found or chosen families play an important role in the lives of queer people, as 39% of queer adults have faced rejection from their birth families. Found families can fulfill survival functions as well as emotional ones. 40% of homeless youth are LGBTQ, and found families can sometimes help find someone a place to stay. For these people, family becomes not a biological happenstance, but a group of supportive people providing unconditional support." In A New Hope, we see Leia, Luke, and Han and Chewie go from total strangers to essentially a family over the course of a few days. This is especially significant, I think, for Luke, considering that his aunt and uncle were killed by the Empire, and his next best thing to family, Obi-Wan, was murdered by Darth Vader right in front of his eyes. It's through the support and guidance from his newfound family, Leia and Han in particular, that gives him the strength he needs to continue on and fulfill his destiny. A very relatable arc for countless queer people receiving support from their found families. And that wraps us up for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my take on the queerest moments of A New Hope. I'm currently working on Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But until then, what did you think? Was I able to shed some queer light onto the film that you hadn't seen before? Is there anything that you would have included on this list that I might have missed? Let me know down in the comments, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because I put new queer Star Wars content out every single week. Thank you so much for watching. Gay the Force be with you, always.